As Catholics, we are called to make a preferential option for the poor. One of the main takeaways that we experience from an overseas mission immersion program is a stunning awareness of the physical poverty of the people we have met and with whom we have become friends. Most of our new friends live differently from us Americans, yet in the midst of their poverty, they seem happy. As we bring mission home, we need to reflect on the reasons behind their poverty and challenge ourselves to a new way of living. In this way, we can maintain our relationship with our new friends by identifying with them, honoring them, and learning from them. Pope Francis tells us, we are called to find Christ in the poor, to lend our voice to their causes, but also to be their friend, to listen to them, to speak for them. In his apostolic exhortation, The Joy of the Gospel, Pope Francis captures much of our feelings. How many uncertain and painful situations there are in the world today. How many are the wounds borne by the flesh of those who have no voice, because their voice is muffled and drowned out by the indifference of the rich. If we have learned anything from our short mission experience, we now know that each person and every community is called to be an instrument of God for the liberation and promotion of the poor, and for enabling them to be fully a part of society. Any church community, if it thinks it can comfortably go its own way without creative concern and effective cooperation in helping the poor to live with dignity and reaching out to everyone, will easily drift into a spiritual worldliness camouflaged by religious practices, unproductive meetings, and empty talk. As a church, we believe with Pope Francis that there is an inseparable bond between faith and the poor. An authentic faith, which is never comfortable or completely personal, always involves a deep desire to change the world, to transmit values, to leave this earth somehow better than we found it. Pope Francis tells us that welfare projects should be considered merely a temporary response to poverty. He further says that as long as the problems of the poor are not radically resolved by attacking the structural causes of inequality, no solution will be found for the world's problems. Inequality is the root of social ills. As Saint Pope John XXIII said, in order to respond effectively as Catholics to the problem of the poor, we must become champions of education, access to health care, employment, and a just wage. When we go on mission, even on a short-term mission program, we must bring home a new sense of urgency, a new sense of commitment to our newfound friends. One way we can express our commitment is by living a simple lifestyle in solidarity with the poor of the world. A simple lifestyle does not mean simply cutting back and trying to live the same life with only less money. It goes way beyond how we live. It is more about the way we live and how we interact with the world around us. Living simply is about happiness, contentment, going outside our comfort zone, accepting responsibility for our actions, and getting priorities right. Voluntary simplicity results not only in a better life, but also a better you. Therefore, if we live these values of faith, family, and community, we place ourselves in solidarity with their poverty and accept their humble gift. Another takeaway that we bring home from mission is a sense of community. Did we not notice that the people with whom we visited and shared our lives value not only their faith, but also their families and their community? This is the gift that they gave us. We are called to embrace their gift of faith, family, and community. We can no longer do it alone, isolated from one another. Material richness has a tendency to isolate us, to cause us to focus on what we have, on my desires, on my future. What we learn from our friends on mission is that poverty unites us and urges us to find common solutions. When I bring mission home, here are some practical ideas for service to the poor and vulnerable that I can focus on, which will keep me in solidarity with my new friends. Maintain communication with my mission friends via Facebook, Skype, exchange of photos. Share my mission experience with my church community, family, and friends at work or school. Volunteer with fellow missioners at a homeless shelter or elder care home. Collect food to donate to a charity such as Operation Rice Bowl. Start a clothing drive and donate clothing to an organization that distributes clothes to those who are poor or homeless in my community. Save money to give to a good charity or needy family, especially a vulnerable immigrant. Read newspapers and news magazines to find out how local, state, and national governments could be doing more to help those who are poor. As a missionary group, write a letter to the representative of your district expressing concern about those who have inadequate access to health care, a job, etc. Along with a group of those I went on mission with, join a project to benefit the poor in our own parish. Solidarity with the poor is not only humbling, but leads to a new way of life. As Christians, we are called to walk together with our brothers and sisters and with Jesus, who was poor and who himself made an option for the poor. As you now bring mission home, what will be your basic plan for an option for the poor?